Meet the younger son. He lived a life of total security, abundance, and peace inside his father's house.
But compliance and security started to feel like a cage. He became restless, longing to make his own rules.
One morning, he walked right up to his father and made an unbelievable, deeply disrespectful demand. He essentially said, "Give me my inheritance now. I don't want to wait for you to pass away. I want my freedom today." The request was heartbreaking. In that culture, it was equivalent to wishing his own father was dead inside. But the father doesn't force his love. He respects the son's free will, dividing his hard-earned wealth between them. Not wasting a single moment, the younger son packed up every single thing he owned, eager to escape his father's gaze. He walked away from safety, walked away from relationship, and turned his back on everything he knew. He traveled to a distant country, a place where nobody knew his father's name, and nobody could tell him how to live. The distant country was glittering, loud, and full of flashing invitations. It promised the ultimate fulfillment. And for a while, it worked. He lived comically wild, spending money like it would last forever, buying superficial popularity. He suddenly had a massive entourage. Everyone wants to be friends with the guy holding the bag of gold. He chased every pleasure, fulfilled every superficial desire, and completely burned through his constraints. But unanchored spending has a mathematical certainty. Eventually, the bottom of the bag appeared. The exact second his wealth completely vanished, his fair-weather friends vanished right along with it. To make matters worse, a severe economic famine swept across that entire country, leaving the whole land desperate. He had no money, no food, and no support system. The glittering illusion had completely shattered into harsh reality. Desperate to avoid starvation, he hired himself out to a local citizen of that country, begging for any job available. The farmer sent him into the fields to take care of his pigs. For a Jewish boy, this was the absolute ultimate humiliation. Look at him now. The boy who wore fine clothes and threw gold in the air is now covered in pig mud, broken and empty. He was so incredibly starved that his mind began playing tricks on him. He looked at the pig food and craved it. But nobody gave him a single thing. He had officially reached the absolute lowest rock-bottom point of his existence. And right there in the middle of the filth and stench, the most powerful event in the story occurred. He came to his senses. He thought to himself, "How many of my father's hired servants have more than enough food to eat, and here I am perishing?" He realized his independence was a complete fraud. He decided to construct a plan, stand up, and go back. He rehearsed his confession, word for word. "I will say, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Just make me like one of your hired servants.'" He didn't just sit there feeling sorry for himself. True repentance requires movement. He actually got up and went. It was a long, brutal walk home. Miles of hot dirt, carrying nothing but his heavy guilt, his empty hands, and his anxiety. He wondered, will my father slam the door in my face? Will my brother laugh at me? Am I going to be cast out forever? Meanwhile, back at the estate, the father had never stopped looking. Every single day, he scanned that horizon line. And then, on an ordinary afternoon, while the sun was still a great distance away, the father saw him. The text of Luke 15 tells us he didn't feel anger, resentment, or a desire for an apology. He was filled with absolute compassion. And then, an elderly patriarch did something completely shocking for his culture. He ran. He abandoned his dignity and ran. The son looked up, expecting a lecture or a closed gate,
But instead, he saw his father sprinting directly at him with open arms. The father threw his stick arms completely around his tattered, smelly son, embracing him tight and kissing his neck. The son quickly tried to deliver his carefully rehearsed speech. "Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I'm not worthy." But the father completely cuts him off. He doesn't even let him finish the sentence about becoming a servant. He yells to the servants, "Quick, bring out the absolute best robe in the house and put it on him right now. Put a family signet ring directly on his finger and place simple sandals on his bare feet. Bring the fatted calf and kill it. Let's organize a massive, over-the-top feast and start celebrating immediately." The father proclaims the core truth. For this son of mine was dead and is now alive again. He was completely lost, and now he is found. And the music started playing. The dancing broke out, and they began to celebrate his return with pure, unadulterated joy. This incredible, timeless Bible narrative isn't just an ancient story about a family crisis. It is a literal mirror for our relationship with God. Let me ask you a direct, heartfelt question. Are you currently running away or living in that distant country right now? Maybe you chose your own comfortable plans, chased temporary distractions, and found yourself sitting inside a spiritual pigpen of isolation. We think that running away from the Father's rules gives us total freedom, but it always lands us right back in a suffocating cage of anxiety and shame. But here is the beautiful secret of the gospel. Your current mess does not mean God is completely done with your life. Sometimes the rock-bottom situation you're sitting in is actually a protective boundary meant to bring you to your senses. The exact second you turn around and say, "Okay, Father, I've messed up. Your way, not mine," the exit door swings wide open. Our God is permanently known as the God of the second chance. He doesn't want to audit your failures. He wants to restore your identity. He wants to do the exact same thing for you today. No matter how far you've run down that wrong path, you are not out of his reach. Because the same grace that sprinted down the road to meet the prodigal son is tracking your life right now. If this animated parable brought a smile to your face and built up your hope today, please hit that subscribe button right now. Smash that like button to help share this message of radical grace and forgiveness with people all over the world. Thank you so much for watching. Stop running from your lane, and we will see you in the next animation. God bless you, and goodbye.